How's it going, Team Kids? I hope you are doing well on this Thanksgiving Day Eve. This is the weekend preview video for November 30th and December 1st. It's crazy to think that we're going to be rolling the calendar over to December, but before I get ahead of myself and get into stuff we're going to be talking about this weekend, I just wanted to say thank you on a week where we remind ourselves for the wonderful gifts that we've been given. I am regularly reminded each and every single week by working with all of you incredible people to help kids find and follow Jesus, just how wonderful of a church we have, how wonderful of a people that you are, and that you have been called into this particular ministry and helping these specific kids know about Jesus, know about a relationship with Jesus, and look for ways to live that out in their life by taking action steps each and every single week. So thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do. This is not possible, and none of what we do as a church is possible without leaders like you who see the vision for what it means to help people do that. Thank you. That being said, we're going to transition on to a couple of segments that we've been going through for the last couple of weeks, just breaking down what's going on in the ministry, what to expect in the 4th through 5th grade small groups, and then also what to expect for the 6th grade small groups as well, since we've been doing that over the last month and a half. So the first thing is just general synopsis on all of the things that we've have coming up, and so here is that segment. One of the big things that we are going to be doing coming up is Christmas services. We have a whole list of 6 services that we have room for sign up for. We actually had a pretty significant amount of you guys sign up on this past weekend, whether it be in the huddle or on the Google form, which is attached in this email. If you did not hear or receive that yet, we still have a couple of open slots for our regular volunteers. And so if you want to click on that sign-up sheet and participate in being a part of our Christmas services, we would absolutely love that. It is one of the funnest services that we do, and it's also just an incredible way for you to continue your investment into the lives of these kids as they celebrate Christmas and hear about the message of Christmas through the wonderful story Charlie Brown Christmas, which is going to be the theme that we're going to be doing this year. So if you want, sign up. We would love it. I would love to see you there, just because I love seeing you. And so yeah, that's coming up. One thing that happened this past weekend was this past week on Monday, we had our skate night. We had over 152 people come and participate in that event. It was really awesome to just see so many of you guys there engaging and interacting with different families and different kids from your small groups and not necessarily from within your small groups. That is what the event was all about, was just to give you an opportunity to engage kids outside of the classroom. And it happened, and it was fun, and I know I had a good time. So if you came, thank you so much. If you supported from afar, we appreciate you for just being faithful and doing what you do to make this ministry happen. We will be doing other events this year to kind of continue to build those points of connection outside the church, so stay tuned for that. The next thing that we're going to cover is the 4th and 5th grade small groups. We're going to do that right now. So in the 4th through 5th grade classroom this month, we are going to be starting a new series called Who is God?, which is going to take a look at the Christmas story in a couple of different ways, primarily focusing on the character and the nature of who God is and how his character is revealed through the Christmas story. So for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be focusing on the topics of how God is bigger than our words, how he is deeper than rejection, how God is closer than ever. And those are the 3 topics that we're going to be looking at for the next 3 weeks. But for this week, like I said, we're going to be focusing on the topic of how God is big. But the wonderful thing about this is that even though God is big, that doesn't mean that God isn't knowable. Um, God just by himself, if he were just to exist outside of us, there's no possible way that we could know who he is. But the Christmas story reminds us that God came down, and the terminology or the theological word that is used is God incarnated. He became part of us. He became knowable. He came infleshed, so that way we could have an understanding of who he is. And he came as a baby. He came as a baby to be vulnerable and to experience the things that we experience. And so even though God is so large and so significant, and the words that we describe can't even fully comprehend how big he is, the wonderful thing is that even though he's big, he is knowable. And that's going to be the emphasis as we go into our story this weekend. A great illustration for kind of what that means for us is God is like an author. And just like a book is written, the author can't possibly engage with the characters that he creates unless he writes himself into the story. And the incredible story of the Bible is that God did just that in the person of Jesus, makes himself known, reveals himself to us as the Word of God, and because of that, he can be known by us. So that's going to be the focus for this weekend. The conversation is going to revolve around that topic, and it should be an interesting one, and it should be a good one to allow kids to kind of see that this season is so much bigger than just things and presents and individual longings and desires, that it points to something bigger than us, and that's an incredible thing. So that's what's coming up this weekend. The next thing that we're going to cover is the 6th grade content, so stay tuned for that if you're a 6th grade leader. In the 6th grade small groups for this coming up weekend, we are going to be in week 2 of our mission group guidebooks, and we have an incredible opportunity this coming up weekend, and it's going to be a fun thing that I just am blessed by, and I think our kids will be blessed by as well. Pastor Michael is going to come, and he's going to share his story with our 6th graders and give a little bit of a background of his own personal faith journey. As you guys know by now, we've been kind of focusing in on those 3 principles of what it means to find and follow Jesus, which is to identify our stories and how our stories have integrated with the Jesus story, and how we do that in a community together, and we live out our faith through action and through behavior. And so those 3 elements have kind of cultivate the formation of what it means to find and follow Jesus. And Michael's going to share with us a little bit about his background in that area, in coming to know God and coming to be a pastor and someone who's walking with Jesus in his life and in the things that he does, and leading our church in that direction as well. And the other cool thing that he's going to do to kind of prepare us for mission groups is kind of just share how 6th graders have a role in our church and what that important role is that they fulfill, and how our mission groups can go about cultivating that in their lives, how they can start practices now that will help them become a important and integral part of our church community that is helping our city grow closer to Jesus and engaging Jesus. We can't possibly do it without everyone, and they are such an important part of that, and Michael's going to share that with them, and I hope that that will connect and land and inspire them to go and do that. But the cool thing is that Michael is just communicating a message that Jesus communicated, and that makes it even more impactful that Jesus is the one who's sending these kids out on mission, and he's just a vessel in which God is going to use to communicate to that that to these kids. So that's coming up this weekend. We're going to be going through Matthew 6:19 through 34 in our mission groups. And there's a leader guide that I've attached in the email to help you go through just give you some context and also give you some information to prepare yourself for that conversation. But the big thing is this: I would love it if all of our sixth grade leaders watched the Discovery Bible Study video, which is the content that we're using for the next 6 weeks to help engage these kids during the group time. Discovery Bible Study is the name of the questions, the 3 sections that we go through each week, which are connect, discover, and obey. And when we do those 3 things, that will hopefully give these kids a way to engage the Bible and just think about as they study throughout the week. And so we'll do that each week with them. And because of this process and the big ask of having them go through 6 weeks of PBJ and doing their soap outside of the classroom, we're going to have a celebration coming up in January just to highlight the importance of doing this together, following Jesus together, and it should be a fun celebration. So stay tuned. We're going to plan that out a little bit more, but that'll be a end cap on this mission group topic. So I'm excited about that. I hope you are excited about walking with these kids through this process. It's going to be a up and down roller coaster as this whole process is. But the fun thing is that there's going to be certain kids that just grab hold of this and take ownership over it, and it should be incredible to watch them grow in their faith as we call them up and help them see the importance of being a valued and contributing member of the body as they continue to grow up. So it should be fun. I'm excited about it. I hope that you find some points of connection with these kids this week, and that God reveals His plan and the Spirit works through us. All right, I'll see you this weekend, and I'm looking forward to everything that we get to do as we help these kids find and follow Jesus. Love you guys. See you later.